How's it going, everybody? My cup of tea here, back to the reaction video, and today we're here to watch a video from the Lockstin Gnoggin channel. Yay, yay. Now in the past, I always watched their Pokemon Explain video from the Pokemon Battle Royale. I would check out that fight first and then come here and watch the explanation videos. But today we're here to watch something different. I was browsing through his channel to see what stood out to me, and the one I want to check out is what is Ash's worst possible Pokemon team. I want to check that out because I know a little bit about Ash and this team, especially after watching these AMVs. So I'm curious, like, what's the worst overall team that Ash could have had for all his Pokemons that he has captured in the past? So let me try to think of some guesses right now. I see Muck in there. I'm trying to think what else he had. Maybe Turtwig or Torterra, because it hasn't had any good feeds recently, or it hasn't had any good feeds like that. I don't know why Sirfetch'd is in the cover. Sirfetch'd is that guy. Sirfetch'd is the homie. Even though Luminous Trainer Zach doesn't like it. Unpheasant, I don't think Unpheasant will be in there. It's pretty, he got some good moves. I don't know how many Pokemon Ash has had. Probably like in the hundreds, maybe like 50s. I don't know. Oh, and before we go into this video, I was told to check out this channel from Madness Arcade. So, bam! Shouts out to you, Madness Arcade. Shouts out to you. I know you've been questioning that I should check out some Gnoggin videos. Or Noggin videos, I don't know which way I should pronounce it. So here we are now. Let's get it. Let's jump into it. Alright, let's start this.
So, Ash's journey is finally over. After 20 septillion eons, the torch is finally being passed.
Pokemon,
which of course means we have an end point for Ash. Videos about him and his achievements and exploits will no longer become outdated. I say, as if they won't bring him back for cameos from time to time, possibly older and with different teams. But
he will never grow a beard.
His main journey, the Ash arc of Pokemon, is done. In it, Ash grew a lot as a trainer and eventually made a team worthy of a world champion. But of course, you don't get to that level
Jesus,
without making
Bulbasaur.
mistakes, and Ash has made plenty.
Yes, he
While a lot
has.
of his Pokemon are particularly powerful, he has several that are just kinda objectively bad. Both in literal Pokemon game mechanics and in anime personality shenanigans. Like Torkoal is a pretty okay at best Pokemon,
Torkoal?
but
Okay.
Ash's Torkoal in particular, no.
Dang. Wow.
That is something a lot of folks discussing these kind of things
hello.
tend to forget, that the anime logic and the anime rule set don't really line up super well with the games. Pikachu, aim for the horn, is the perfect, pristine example of anime logic, where in the games this would not work, but in the anime
aim for the
it's
horn.
a legitimate strategy, I guess.
Yes.
And considering personalities, that's kind of taken from the games, because in the games, of course, Pokemon have natures that supposedly represent the Pokemon's, well, nature and behavior.
I know about that, yeah.
And this is represented more extremely in the animated series, with Ash's Totodile, for example, being a total goofball who's just full of love and joy. Would that be jolly or impish? And then there's Ash's
Probably
Heracross
jolly.
that gets easily distracted by the sweet smell of, well, sweet things, like Ash's Bulbasaur.
Dang. Help me. Help me.
Yeah, and who can forget Ash's Charizard, a
I'll never forget
Pokemon
about
so
that.
lazy in the original series that it cost Ash the Pokemon League because it chose, instead of fighting alongside Ash, to not respect him and have a nap.
I feel like that made everyone angry when they saw that. I know that made me angry when I watched it, when I was watching Pokemon when it came out. I forgot what channel it was on. Was it Cartoon Network? I don't know.
I will never forgive that.
Yep.
But hey, all the way back in 2017, Birdkeeper Toby and I asked, what is the worst possible team Ash can come up with?
And what is the best?
And since it's been so long, Ash has caught quite a few more.
That was 5 years
on,
ago?
And also,
Oh,
now
wow.
that he's done, we can finally make the definitive best and
Definitive,
worst
let's get it.
teams. If he could choose 6 Pokemon from his entire journey to make the ultimate team of super sucking, which 6 would he pick? And also, if he wanted to make the best team ever, which 6 then? Turns out it's not so simple as just picking the 6 strongest and calling it a good team.
Oh, word?
And that video is over on Birdkeeper Toby's channel, which you should really check out after this video. Links at the end.
Back in 2017, we came up with these 6 Pokemon as Ash's worst.
Not Palpito.
Totodile, Torkoal, Oshawott, Unfezant, Boldore, and
wow, they put Unfezant on there?
Talonflame
That's
clearly
crazy.
being the best of the bunch, and chosen because it provides the team with as little type coverage as possible.
Looking back, that was honestly a mistake. Back then, X and Y was still airing, and Talonflame went on to become one of Ash's
Yeah, I'm
most
like, what do you mean? Talonflame, that guy. Talonflame is that one. In
with
XY.
19 official battles. And this is against gym leaders and such with whole teams, and Talonflame was usually among the first Pokemon Ash sent out, meaning it's bound to lose, eventually. And that same logic applies to Hawlucha too.
Yeah, Halucha's
Not
a guy.
all wins
Wait,
and losses.
was Halucha on that list too? Hold on, let me go back real quick. Hold on.
Ash's worst team. Totodile, Torkoal, Oshawott, Unfezant, Boldor, and Talonflame.
I'm about to say, like, I didn't hear Halucha. I'm like, there's no way he's on this worst list back then. There's no way.
Who's the worst from Ash applies to Pokemon Ash sent out,
We're back.
meaning it's bound to lose eventually. And that same logic applies to Halucha too. Not all wins and losses are equal. I mean, who's the worst from Ash's World Championship team?
Oh, that is easily sirfetch'd.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Yep, out of
My
its
boy
13
Sirfetch'd.
league battles, it only won 5 of them, giving it a win percentage of 38%.
I mean, if you look at the percentage, yeah.
Admittedly, though,
But
while it's not
he that
really
guy, though.
worst by that metric, when you look at its known moves, it's pretty good, surprisingly.
All right, last time we didn't really look at their move pools, by which I mean the moves Ash has taught his Pokemon, not the moves the Pokemon has access to in the games. Most of his Pokemon typically only know moves that match their type, and sometimes a normal type move as well. And that's a big part of what sets his World Champion team apart. Their move pools are like, good.
These are the moves his Sirfetch'd knows. Many powerful attacks and strategic moves among 4 very different types. And it's the same story for his Gengar. While its win rate is a mere 44%,
It is?
fully evolved and knows moves
I thought it
of
was
several
higher.
types, and is even known to Gigantamax.
If we're going to go by
Hey,
win rate
fashion.
alone and saying these are his worst Pokemon because of their win
don't
rate,
do
then
that, don't do
yeah,
that.
they'd be on the team. But I feel like at this level, losses don't mean as much.
They don't.
Occasionally, or
They don't.
even most of the time, losing against a world champion contender is a given. Whereas losing against some kid on the street, now that says something about
That's
how
going on the
awful
list.
you are.
Now
Yeah,
you're going on the
there's
list.
a lot more to consider this time around.
I feel like you're making this harder than it needs to be.
Okay, vibes then. Vibes is how we will balance for that. I'm all
Vibes?
about the vibes.
Okay,
Looking at
vibing.
Ash's Pokemon with the worst win-loss ratio, we get this bundle. All with ratios definitive.
I gotta pause because a lot's happening right now. Torkoal, that's the lava turtle Pokemon thing. Totodile, green. Okay. Palpitoad, Boulder. Okay. Forest. I don't even know if it's good or not. Pidgeotto gotta stay. Pidgeotto's not going on there. Come on now, it's Pidgeotto.
Relatively less than 50%, meaning that they lost most of their battles. Depending on how you define a battle and such, you could include these Pokemon too.
Also, for this, we're not going to consider Pokemon that Ash has given up on. I mean, released. So no Butterfree with its measly 33%.
Let's
Okay.
start making a team, and I have a feeling here it's not going to be too different. I mean, Ash has become more experienced as time's gone on.
However, the differences may surprise you. But to get the obvious one in, Torkoal. Torkoal,
Yeah,
Torkoal,
I gotta
Torkoal.
stay.
Possibly Ash's
Yeah, that-
worst singular Pokemon.
Dang.
It had its moments, yes, but it is a distracted and emotional mess. And also, it's stupid. Or I guess perhaps it's emotionally
It's
intelligent.
stupid.
Any other sort of intelligent.
What?
Oh my god.
What?
It's emotionally intelligent instead of any other sort of
Why did it jump into the water?
Oh my gosh. It has an extremely low win-to-loss ratio, and even in the Ash and Pikachu manga, it's kind of a dip. And the
Dang.
icing on the cake is that Ash's Torkoal's move pool isn't great. So I'm pretty sure it's got a guaranteed spot on the team. And
Yeah,
maybe
I'm fine with that.
Totodile still does too. It too is kind of a goofball, not really the best at fighting as a result,
Oh, God.
but sometimes its silliness pays off. I don't see this. Its win ratio isn't as bad as some
I love
others,
that
but
sound.
its unpredictability and being completely uninvolved and being from Ash's less experienced early years definitely helps keep it on the team.
Just like his
Okay,
Gliscor,
I'm fine with
Boldor,
that.
and Pidgeot.
I mean, did his Pidgeotto or Pidgeot ever win a single battle? I just remember it
Ooh,
losing
did it?
constantly. Like,
I
why
mean,
even
it's the
stand
heart.
out?
It's the
Well, it
harding.
does beat a kid's retardo with a mere 33%.
We take those.
win
We take
rate.
those.
He's not even the top percentile of Rattata. And what about Gliscor?
28% win rate. The actual worst Pokemon that Ash has is Gliscor.
That's
and that
crazy.
cannot be Gliscor's fault necessarily. Gliscor generally is a Pokemon with fantastic types and cool moves and a personal favorite of mine, but Ash's Gliscor just doesn't really have a personality for battling, and that's what I put it down to. And as for Boldor, Ash rarely used it, and it's not fully evolved. It's really inexperienced. Just generally kind of mid or meh. What's worse, mid or meh?
Thus, it
Meh.
losing so much. And
Meh is definitely worse than mid. Mid is like, okay, yeah, it's like, meh is like, people be calling stuff mid when it's not really mid. But when you say meh, they really mean the meh. It's like, meh. Like, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you want to.
and being.
Generally kind of mid or meh. What's worse, mid or meh?
You gotta
Thus,
shrug
it
your shoulders when
losing
you say
so much
meh.
and being terrible. Like Oshawott in general, but Ash's especially. A 42% win rate, fully unevolved, only knows water moves and tackle.
Only water
Doesn't quite
moves?
think things through, but at least it's cute and silly.
Ain't gonna work in the battle.
Oshawott, why?
Maybe Ash
Oshawott,
has
why?
bad luck with bipedal water types. He trained and used Weasel a ton, and it still has quite a few notable wins. However, it still only ended with a 41% win rate. But I'd say there's potential there.
But you know who doesn't have potential?
Who?
Torterra.
This is
Yeah,
wild.
I knew it was
Interestingly,
gonna
as a Turtwig, it was doing pretty well,
was.
actually winning the
I saw some
majority
battles,
of
AMVs
its
of that.
battles. But as Ash's Turtwig began to evolve into a Grottle and Torterra, it did worse and worse, starting to lose more battles as it grew. But it is a fully evolved Pokemon with a great personality for battling, so even though it has that 38% win rate, I'm not sure it quite fits on the
Oh,
worst.
it doesn't? Okay,
The same
okay.
can be said for Noivern, an incredible Pokemon, fully evolved, and it's a Dragon type.
We only got 2 so far,
It may
right?
only have a 30%
list?
win ratio, but we couldn't in good conscience put it on the worst team because,
Our
after
worst
all,
team?
he's had it since it was an egg, so there's a bond with this Noivern.
Okay.
And I think that given the way that anime logic works, is it kind of works in the same way that in Let's Go you have your friendship mechanic that allows your
Never
Pokemon
watched
to
it,
pull through
never
in
played
moments
it.
where they really shouldn't. Despite its low win rate, I'd say that Noivern has a lot of potential to do good. Thanks to the
potential
power
factor.
of friendship.
Also,
Yay!
flight is a huge advantage when it comes to anime-style Pokemon battling, whereas being slow and armless Pokemon
That
like
makes
his
sense,
Boldore
yeah.
or Palpitoad is a huge disadvantage we'll have to consider also. It
Labrador.
affects the vibes. I'm all about the vibes.
And of course, so does their experience. After all, Donphan has a mere 43% win percentage, but it did so many battles in the Battle Frontier, and those are some high-level opponents. Compare that to, say, Ash's Muck, that has a 50% win rate, but is easily one of Ash's least experienced Pokemon. It has only 1 win and 1 loss, with 2 moves, Body Slam and Sludge
That's
Bomb.
it's on
But
the list.
remember, anime rules. It was absorbing attacks from a Pokemon League level Bellsprout with no problem, basically taking no damage.
He's getting
Thanks to
bodied.
its incredibly squishy body.
Now that you mention it, did it ever really Body Slam that Bellsprout, or did it just kind of cover it
think it
until
covered
it
it.
suffocates?
I think it was the cover.
So's his Gibble. Good type, bad personality, and little experience. And it's the same story with the rest of these too. Like, how often has Ash used one of his 30 Tauros with its terrible
One of his 30
move pool?
Tauros.
So, all in all, here are the contenders.
Let me
Muck,
see. Muck,
Torkoal,
Torkoal.
Tauros, Totodile, Gliscor, Gibble, Pidgeot, Oshawott, and Boldore.
Alright, from these 9 right here, right? So I think that Torterra. No, wait, let me make sure I have the names right.
Pros, Totodile, Gliscor, Gibble, Pidgeot, Oshawott, and Boldore.
The fire, well, it's not here now, but the fire turtle one, that's on the list. Totodile has to be on there too. They both. Now here we gotta see. Let's see. I think Boulder should be on the list too because they said it's slow. I haven't seen it much in action. I say next might be Muck because that move list is bad. This, what was it? Sludge and Body Slam, I think. Bad. I'm not putting Pidgeotto on there. That's just me because I remember that the most. Well, not the most. I remember seeing this Pokemon in the anime when I used to watch it. I'm not putting it on there just for personal stuff. I can't do it to him. Not Pidgeotto. Maybe Oshawott that has like a lot of water moves only. Maybe I don't know. I can't think of the 6th one. Maybe this one. Maybe the bull. I don't know. Let's keep it going.
And not as bad, but still potentially on the team, dishonorable mentions to Palpitoad, Buizel, Snivy, Torterra, and Unpheasant.
Alrighty then, let's start to see how these Pokemon might uncomfortably
Right, so
fit
Terra's not on
together
there.
to make a Pokemon team with
Like
terrible
on the,
type coverage, and Marowak has
potential.
a perfect tool for exactly this. And notably, most types have more resistances than they do weaknesses, so the goal here is to get the weaknesses as high as possible, while also having that resistances column kind of as close to that number as possible.
Okay.
So first, this is the team we get if we look solely at Ash's Pokemon with the 6 worst win rates. There's a pretty big weakness to Rock and Ice, but all their resistances make up for it. Funny that there's 2 tortoises also. But you'll also notice they are all fully evolved, and the skilled world champion level Sirfetch'd is here by technicality. So let's go ahead and swap it out for the next worst. And there you go. That definitely made the team a lot worse. So now we'll swap out Noivern and Torterra for the next worst by win rate, since they're
Okay, so let me look. Quite fast, kind of. I can't.
go ahead and swap it out
So before they have Gliscor, Novrine, Pidgeotto, or Pidgeot, Torkoal, Torterra, and
for the next worst.
next verse is now they swapped out. It was a friendship. They got Boulder on here.
There you
Okay.
go. That definitely made the team a lot worse. So now we'll swap out Noivern and Torterra for the next worst by win rate, since
By win rate, so we got Puzzle and Taurus on here. Okay. Still got Pidgeot on here. I want him gone. I want him off this.
they are fully evolved with pretty decent personalities. And now, while this team seems worse, especially given how inexperienced Tauros is, the type defense is actually quite a lot better.
Now, that Gliscor, it may be fully evolved and maybe a Gliscor, but it has a personality terrible for battling and the worst win percentage ratio that Ash Pokemon have ever had in all of Ash's history, so it can stay for now.
Okay.
But I think we need to swap out the Pidgeot.
Yes! Let's go! Pidgeot's off the list. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.
Ash's history, so it can stay.
Best video ever.
But I think we need to swap out the Pidgeot.
Actually, why don't we just set the win rate aside for just a moment and make a team of just his Pokemon with the worst battling personalities and experience?
That's not a lot of weaknesses. Why don't you ignore everything and just try to maximize those weaknesses?
Yeah.
Oh, I see Mako. So before it was okay. Oh wait, no, it didn't change. I thought it changed.
You
My
ignore
fault.
everything and just try to maximize those weaknesses.
Yeah. That's gonna take a couple hours, but
It's gonna
editing
take a
magical
couple hours.
time skip, this team. In all my experimenting,
Whoa.
this team has the highest number of weaknesses, while the resistances aren't much higher. And yet another thing to consider is the use and viability of other types in battle, by which I mean, like, in the meta, Ice is not a great type of Pokemon to be, but Ice is a very good type to use and attack from. So this team having a big Ice weakness is bad.
Right,
I see
and
it, I
water
see it.
is the most common type, so having a big weakness there is bad too. Flying's up there as well. So with this all in mind, I think we can definitively say for sure what Ash's worst team would be.
Correct. And so, Ash's worst team is 6 unused Tauros.
Okay. All right. I mean.
Imagine a team made up of 6 out of the 30 Tauros Ash has never actually used.
I
They're
could
all
see it.
extremely
I mean, he's not
underrated and know
wrong.
0 useful moves. They haven't had a single day of training, and they are all just normal types, so all you need to lose instantly is a slightly speedy or slightly more experienced Pokemon with a fighting type attack.
I mean,
And
he's
these
not
6
wrong.
Tauros will just stand there, taking it and fainting. This is how Ash would put together a team if he wanted to be the very worst, like no one ever was.
Sure, that just sounds a bit like a cop-out.
Yeah,
mode.
definitely.
I am not
cop-out.
open to criticism.
Well, how about this instead? Let's just start with his last team. Here, and just swap out a few of the okay ones for those much less battle experience. Even if it technically makes the team composition a bit better, I think practically it makes the whole team a lot worse. For instance, Snivy isn't that bad,
Yeah,
it's
Snivy's
very
not that
middle
bad.
at best, so swap out the Oshawott and yes, the weaknesses aren't as bad, but Ash would have a much less trustworthy team here. Same goes for swapping out Torterra with his very non-experienced Muck or one of his totally unused Tauros.
That makes sense. That
Why
makes
not
sense.
5 more of his unused Tauros?
Stop it.
But I think it's clear to see at this point that there's
Stop
no
it with the Taurus.
singular answer. There's just too many variables at play. For me personally, I think the team with the biggest type composition mess up is probably the one that I'd lean towards.
I'd say it's the 6 Tauros.
You need 6 Tauros, Lockstin.
I do not wish to raise the stakes, but to lower them into a grill. The stakes are the losing Tauros.
No, I got it.
Alrighty. I like this. Hold on, wait. So basically, this could be the worst team if you want to swap things out. Okay. Okay. All right. I was about to analyze. I don't want to analyze no more. I don't want to analyze no more. So if you look at this list, minus the Ash Ketchum blocking some of it, we got the fire turtle thing, Torterra, Heracross, the Boulder Pokemon, and then Gliscor. And then this one can be interchanged between Snivy, Totodile, other Pokemon. So these 5 are like, yeah, they're the worst that Ash could have. But then the 6th one can be swapped out with the other couple of Pokemons they mentioned, or have 6 tortoises or Taros. Yeah. Sure. That was fun though. That was fun. Okay, I learned quite a bit. I didn't know Sirfetch'd lost that many times. I'm glad he was on this team. Same with Pidgeotto. I'm glad they were not on the team because I'm like, nah, I can't let this be. I can't let this happen. I feel like, well, I don't know, like, again, the weaknesses, I'm not good with, like, typing yet, like, who's weak to what yet. I do agree with this list if you compare, like, their personalities and their experience, because Boulder, I don't think has many experience. Torterra has, the AMVs I've seen, Torterra has not been doing good or well. Heracross, I don't know much about Heracross in the anime. I think Muck should replace Gliscor maybe? That way I don't have a flying Pokemon on the team. I think Gliscor should be replaced with Muck because Muck only had like 2 fights. But it is squishy though. I don't know. But yeah, since the anime is over for Ash, like his journey's over, let me know if you agree with this list or you think he has like another team that's worse than this one. Because I feel Gliscor should be replaced with somebody else that's not flying because I might, flying is, good in the anime. So if we just take that away, all they got is ground fighters. Like, they can't fly. That's what I think. But yeah, we're going to end the video right here. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. Hope you enjoyed the video. It was fun to see. Nice collab they got going here. Nice collab. And yeah, thank you for watching. My cup of tea is out of here. Adios. Ho ho. Yeah, we gotta watch some more Lockstin videos. We gotta watch some more. And so also tournament montage videos too. Like, not the Pokemon ones, just some other ones they got going on. Because I saw something that caught my eye. But I'll save that. I'll save that. Also, 6 Taros, whatever the Bulls. That caught me off guard. That caught me